I was born and raised in Africa and Cameroon, where I lived for over 20 years before moving to France to continue my studies. Today, I live in Switzerland, and I realized that all these experiences have allowed me to unlock different versions of myself and new standards for the kind of life I want to live. Cameroon is a beautiful country in Central Africa, often called Africa in miniature because of its geographic, climatic, human and cultural diversity. Despite the growing poverty and inequality there, I had a good life, and when I think about it, I never really lacked anything. My family always lived comfortably. We had a nice home, household staff, a driver, etc. I never thought of Cameroon as a poor country compared to the image I saw on TV or in the media. Walking on Half-Path Street didn't seem like a big deal to me. Seeing a rundown taxi was just normal. Looking down back then, I realized that I didn't even question it. Deep down, I thought that was just how life was supposed to be. But when I moved to France, I was exposed to a totally different lifestyle. For example, what I used to see as a luxury restaurant in Cameroon would be considered pretty basic in France. The standards are not the same. In France and in Europe in general, society places a lot of importance on appearance. I mean, physical appearance. The more you take care of yourself physically, the more people respect you. They're more inclined to listen to you and they treat you differently. You can feel it. You could even land a job simply because you look good. I mean, not just for that reason, of course, but it can unconsciously make a big difference in how people perceive you. That's why I believe it's important to change your environment when you want to reach a new version of yourself. I realized that my standards have changed. A Toyota I used to find beautiful in Cameroon is now a car I wouldn't even notice in France. Why? Because my standards have evolved. When I lived in Cameroon, it was normal for a 35-year-old man with a good job to have a big belly and be overweight. I remember back then, having a bit of a belly was seen as a sign of wealth or success. That was totally normal to me. It was normal for men to get together and say, hey, let's see who can drink the most beer, and whoever drinks the most is the real man. All that was deeply ingrained in my mind as a normal. But by changing my environment and living in a new reality, I came to understand the importance of taking care of your physical health. Working out regularly, reading, staying informed, and learning about the world, even about religion, spirituality. It helped me develop a more critical mind on many things. I think by choosing to change my environment, I started becoming more demanding with myself. I've even seen this even more since I moved to Switzerland. My standards for myself have evolved. I mean, Switzerland is one of the countries with the highest standards of living in the world. Living here has pushed me to elevate my mindset even more compared to when I lived in France. Here in Switzerland, I've lost count of many Ferraris, of Maseratis, Euros, or Mercedes, BMWs I see in a single day. These are things I rarely saw when I lived in Paris. Here, there are so many normal people living with what will be considered very high standards as well that I have no choice but to reevaluate my own. That's why, in my opinion, you are the result of your environment. Your environment shapes who you are. It influences your ambition and even the women you interact with. I remember 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with a friend and we were saying if we had to choose between women in Paris and women in Switzerland, I mean, Geneva, Zurich, we'd pick the ones in Switzerland without hesitation. Why? Because you can tell they take better care of themselves. They dress better, they work out, they're more mindful of their appearance, and it shows. A woman who might be considered a 9 out of 10 in Paris will be like a 6 out of 10 in Geneva or Zurich or even Lausanne. I'm saying all this just to show you that even when it comes to women, the standards change depending on the country you're in. So my advice for you today is change your environment. Go explore the world, move, take risks. That's the only way you unlock the best version of yourself. I'm not saying it's the only way to be happy, because I believe happiness can be found anywhere, no matter where you are in the world. You create your own happiness. But if your goal is to grow, to improve every aspect of your life, financially, physically, intellectually, spiritually, culturally, and your current environment doesn't support that, then step out of your comfort zone. Leave your small town. Leave your little village. Give yourself the opportunities you deserve. You only have one life, and it's up to you to decide the direction you want to give it. I hope this message resonates with you and gives you the motivation you need to take the risk and fuel your desire to become better. My name is Faces Attractive. Welcome to my channel. I'm here to help you become the best version of yourself. I also encourage you to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I drop a new video. Have a great day. Peace.